Bear, where are you and Mom going today?
To school to sign me up.
To sign you up for school?
Yeah.
Are you excited? Yeah. What grade are you going to be in? Pre-K? Yeah.
Yep.
Are you pretty excited about it? You've been waiting all morning to go get signed up, and yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have fun. Love you.
Love you. Dad.
Mom, are you ready for Barrett to go to school?
Let's just say I'm wearing waterproof mascara. I'm pretending I have hair above my eyes right here.
Our youngest baby's growing up, baby. He's going to school.
You really don't have to be mean about it.
It's not being mean.
Good morning. Today we're gonna do a little bit of we're gonna do some chores here this morning, and we're just gonna kind of give a little bit of an update on what's been going on since we stopped posting videos. I don't know, life got busy and we just didn't have time to make the content, but we really enjoyed doing it, and we're gonna start doing it again. But we've done a lot in that time since the last video that we posted. Gosh, almost 2 years ago. I mean, I know I dropped one on the chicken tractor a few days ago, but before that it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we've done a lot of stuff since then. We've got pictures of some of it, so in this video we're going to go through and I'm going to insert some of those pictures and talk about it and show some of the completed stuff that we did, and some future projects that we have going on. But first things first is we got some hungry birds out here, and we got to get them fed and get some eggs collected. There you go. Got a couple eggs, 2, and a broody hen. Hey, be nice. Let me see what you got underneath there. Oh, you got 1 egg. Any under here? Nope. So I'm sure everybody remembers Gus, our old man, but we got somebody else new here within the last month. We got Miss Millie. What are you doing, Miss Millie? Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? So this is Millie. She's 4 months old, and she is a healer. She's a half blue, half red healer, and she's been a real good addition. Super smart. Hey, I'm trying to show everybody who you are. She's super smart. Never had a healer before. I've had some friends that have had them. I've always wanted one. We actually didn't really decide to get the puppy till like the day of. We weren't planning on getting another dog until our other ones went on to doggy heaven, but I don't know. We just decided one day that we were going to get one, and it's been, let's see, Gus is almost 13. It's been 13 years since we've had a puppy. So having to do the potty training thing again, but we're doing a lot of things different with her than we've done with the other ones. We still have Heidi too, but she doesn't get to run around like Gus and Millie outside of the backyard because she is a runner, and she will take off. She's got 7 acres that she can roam, but she'll go straight to the street and just leave. Good morning, everybody. So this is the laying flock. If you remember from the last video that we posted, the chicken tractor, well, like all of these girls right here, right there, we moved them into the chicken tractor that we made, which is over there. They are now in with the big girls and Gerald out here in our mobile coop, and they are about I don't know, they're getting close to 20 weeks. Millie, what are you doing? Come over here. Come over here, dog. Millie, come. There you go, good girl. Hey, don't be chasing no birds. And then we got a few others. So we had a new store in town, Atwoods, open up, and they had a bunch of baby chicks the day that we went, and so we came home with some more. So those guys, or girls, I'm sorry, are a few weeks behind. They're probably eight or 9 weeks roughly. So for some of you that have followed along for a little while, you'll remember that we used to haul the feed bag out here, and that gets old after a while. So you'll see that I got a bucket, screwed it to the tongue of the trailer. We can put about 150 pounds of feed in here, and it cuts down tremendously on having to haul stuff and the work and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a good addition. So also, we used to open, this is off the, this door is off of the pop-up trailer that I tore down, where I got this frame from to make this. And we used to open this little hatch right here, and that's where they would come in and out, but it had to be manually opened and closed. Well, we decided to go ahead and spend a little extra money, and we put an automatic chicken door in. So that's been a modification. Let me open this up here. It's on the inside, and oh, it's big enough for Millie. Oh, she's gonna get you, girl. But it's set for 7 in the morning, and right now it closes roughly 9 o'clock in the evening. And it's great because it just opens and closes, and we don't have to come out here. Basically, it turns what used to be coming out here twice a day. Now we only got to come out here once, which is just in the morning. We just feed, water, collect eggs, and then we're done. All right, let's get some eggs here. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Got a broody hen. She's gonna nip me. She's gonna get me. Stop. Be nice. 12. So only got 12 eggs. I know there looks like to be a lot of birds out here, but there's only about 15 hens that are actually of laying age. The rest of them are still little bitty and haven't started laying yet. So we also used to haul 5-gallon buckets of water out here to fill those waters every day, and I filled those up yesterday, and it hasn't been hot, so they're about 3/4 full still. But we no longer have to do that. We have hose out here, and I'm going to go show you over there where we found a water line that we had no idea existed, and I'll explain how I found it. Hello, meat birds. So we didn't show you guys the meat birds going in this when we posted the last video, because they were still too little. They were only about 2 weeks old. One additional thing that we added to this is, so Joel Salatin uses like a dolly that he puts right there and tips it back. I didn't want to make that, so I just took an old lawnmower and I stole the adjustments off of it, as you can see right here with this lever, and did a 2x6. And so now when you want to move it, you just move that down. It picks it up about that much off the ground, just enough to get rid of the drag, and works pretty well. But I want to get these guys moved, and then I want to talk a little bit more about this coop. you get out? Hey, Gus, be nice. Millie, Millie. Good girl. Yeah. So we've been using this coop for about a month now. Or tractor, I guess you could call it, for about a month now for its intended use, moving meat birds. And I'll be honest with you, this is the first and the last set of birds that I will run in this coop. We're probably going to tear it apart and repurpose the lumber and build something different. We've come to learn that we don't like this. Now I built this out of the Polyface Designs book, about 98% to a T, with the exception of we have to use our panel because they recommend to use aluminum corrugated panels. Can't find that around our area, so that's about the only difference. And so it is a little bit heavier, but that's not the only reason why we don't like it. It's really not because of the weight. It doesn't move that great. I don't have a problem, but I'm not here all the time, and so my wife has to move it because we move it every day, and she has a really hard time trying to move this by herself. The other thing is it's so low to the ground, and this back area is obstructed. It's hard to see the birds. I didn't pull the feed last night. Normally we pull the feed. I didn't pull it last night because we were going to have the storm, and I didn't want the bucket and what feed was left to get spoiled, so I left it in. But typically if you pull the feed, they come to the front and they track and move pretty well. And we haven't had too many problems, but you just can't see the birds back there. We did get one bird that got trapped in the back one day and kind of messed up its leg. Luckily it's doing okay, it's recovered, but you just can't see. The other thing that we figured out was when we had the pullets in here, when we had to catch them to move them into the bigger coop, you literally had to get on your hands and knees, and you either had to get on your belly and crawl to the back. What I ended up doing was getting a fishing net and tying a broomstick to it and duct taping it to reach back to the corners to catch them. It's just kind of a pain, and not being able to walk in and out and things like that. So this is probably the last time that we're going to use this coop, and I'm going to build a Suscovich style tractor for the next round of meat birds. I know this is a real popular design. It's a Joel Salatin design. It works well for a lot of people. We gave it a shot. We don't like it, and that's okay. So we're going to move on to something different. But that's our 2 cents about it. And then I want to talk about for the shop, something I'm pretty excited about is the shop now has its own dedicated 200 amp service. We got a hold of the power company. They came and put a new pole in. I'll show that to you here in a minute. Has its own meter. So 200 amp service. One thing I've done is I've run some 1-inch conduit up and over. And we now have over here by the door, this is a 100 amp sub panel. So this will be doing this 100 amp sub panel right here. That way I can run plugs and everything off of this panel, the table saw, things like that. That way all my home runs don't have to go all the way back to that panel in that corner of the shop. And so that's pretty nice. 100 amp sub panel over here, 200 amp service to the whole thing. And we're going to add a bunch of other stuff. We're going to add a bunch of plugs along this wall right here, along the workbench. We're going to have a drop down. The table saw, I'll finally be able to convert over to 220. A couple other things is we bought some high bay lights. And if anybody's looking for their garage, shop, shed, whatever. So I have 4 skylights in the shop. It's a little overcast and rainy today. But I've got 6 of these. They're called high bay lights. They're LEDs. These are the 150 watt versions. And man, they are incredible. I mean, they are awesome. They are pricey. They're not cheap, but worth it. You know, with the old lights, which were just these little cheapo Amazon 4-foot LEDs, had a lot of shadows when you were working on projects and things like that. And I don't have that problem at all. So this is on the back side of that panel in the corner. This is the meter base. We have a 200 amp emergency disconnect here, so in the event something happens and you can't get inside to the main breaker, you can come out here and flip this main breaker. Got 2-inch conduit that runs down. I've got an 1.5 inch and a 1-inch piece of conduit stubbed up there that's going to go into a gutter, and those are going to run out to our front gate, which is out that way, and that's going to carry power out to there. But everything runs underground, and I'll attach pictures to this. I had to dig a trench all the way through here, and the power company came and set a new pole and transformer. You can see it through the trees right there, and to give us service. And phase 2 of the project is where that 1.5 inch and that 1-inch stub up. So I'm going to end up putting a pool box here, and what this is going to do is it's going to 90 off of that, and it's going to run to the left of our gate down there. And so I'll have 80 amp service to the gate, which will run a gate opener, and then eventually I'm gonna buy enough Christmas lights to go around a lot of this fence over here, and we're gonna get to that structure over there. I know some of y'all are probably wondering what the heck that is. Remember how I was telling you we used to haul water? Well, that power trench runs right there, and as we were digging it, we found that there is a water line that runs through there, and we found it with the excavator bucket. And so what we did is we just chopped it off right here, 90'd it up, and went ahead and put ourselves a hydrant spigot, and we run about 300 feet of hose out to the pasture, and that's what we've been using to water right now. And it's also a lot closer to get to the garden over there, so we have a Y. Got one hose that goes to the garden and one hose that goes out to the chickens in the pasture. So we're out here at the southwest corner of the property at Mom and Dad's house. So this is something else that we've been working on for the last year. And so this house right here is what's going to end up, it's the primary residence now. It's going to end up being the guest house. It's 864 square feet, 24 by 36. And it has two 24 by 6 foot patios on it. Eventually out here in this area will be the big house, or the primary house, and they've got their own entrance right here. So we actually had this corner cut off, subdivided, surveyed, and it's done through the county, so it's legally their land, and it's roughly just under an acre. So we started framing this house in May, and they just moved in December, right before Christmas. We broke ground on putting in the driveway, the It's kind of like a big U shape. She goes around over there and then out there. That was November-ish of 21. Right before Thanksgiving, when we started cutting that in, and we started doing the foundation on this house about December, January. So this is it. Property line runs right 10 feet off of this wall. So this is kind of what it is. We'll do a walk around. It's a little messy, so we're building right here. This is a 10 by 20 little shop for Dad. I've been at work and busy. He's done all this framing himself, so I don't have any footage of that, but I'm gonna get footage of the rest of that as we go. So here's kind of a little walk around of the house. This is technically the front, faces east. Got the side here. So the big house that'll go here wall to wall will be 8 feet off of here. And I have some pictures of it, but the water line, and we have power that runs out through a trench right about where that stake is at. And you can see the spigot and everything. It runs out this way where the water meter and everything's at. 100-gallon propane tank for the gas stove, and we have 2 water heaters in there. One is for hot water, and the other one is for the radiant heat in the slab, which we'll show you. And then this is the back side of the house here. And then over here on this other side is just so we have a mini split in here with a heat pump. It's a dual head. It has a 12,000 BTU head in the living room kitchen area, and an 8,000 in the bedroom area. It was all done with my dad, my mom, myself, Stina, and the kids. We subbed out drywall. We subbed out the pour and finish of the concrete, but we did all the forms and footings and all that ourselves. Hired somebody to paint, and then a friend of mine at work owns a roofing company, and we paid one of his crews to come out and put the shingles on. But all the framing, plumbing, electrical, everything, all done by us. So we live out here in the county. There are no building permits. Only permits that you have to get out here in our county is to put a septic tank in, which we did and was installed by somebody that was licensed with the county. And if you're putting in a water well, which we don't put in a water well, we have co-op water out here. Oh, look, there's Mom.
Hello.
All right, so I had somebody comment on the chicken tractor video that I put out the other day, asking what I was using to staple the hardware cloth to it. And the funny thing is I actually had footage explaining all of it, but I cut it out and didn't put it in the video because I didn't think anybody would be interested in it. Long story short, I usually use a crown stapler, but I went through 2 of them and they broke. So my dad has this pass load cap stapler, and it's meant for like putting the vapor barrier on a house. And all it is it's a stapler that shoots staples like that right there. And what it does is it shoots, and then down here at the bottom is this little orange disc, and it just shoots the staple through the disc almost like a washer. And there's a little picture of what it looks like on the box. And so it just has this spool that you load those into with a little belt that feeds across the bottom, and as you push it and pull the trigger, it shoots a staple with that little orange deal on it, but it's made by a company called Passload, and it's called a Passload. These are the fast caps. This is the box that comes with those little orange discs, and we got it at a local building supply here in town. I think you might be able to buy it at Home Depot. I'm not exactly sure like what big box store you can go to, but that's what I used. It came in handy because hardware cloth, sometimes you can if you got too much pressure, you'll blow right through it and it doesn't actually hold, but this actually works pretty well. So anyway, that's what we used.
I was given instructions to come out today and talk a little bit about some of the things that have changed so we can give you guys a good update and so that everyone's up to speed on things, because we fell off for a little bit and I'm very sorry. So hold on, let's go get some eggs, Bear.
Okay.
That is the same. We have probably even more chickens. We have all the same chickens that we moved here 2 years ago. Same girls.
Back.
Pumpkin is still here. Muffin is still here.
Everybody's still here.
Everybody's still here.
The race.
They don't really like. Well, Millie.
Raoul, Millie. And
Sister, they didn't like that. Don't do that.
and they're kind of.
Everyone's real angry.
And they're kind of annoying.
This is Vern. He's new to this flock, but other than that, everybody else is the same. Lucy did hatch out a baby, and she is right over here. I understand, Dusty. That was very distressing. So, not a lot has changed with the chickens by the house, but Mama Chicken, me, I went back to school. I did an accelerated program for chemical dependency counseling, and last July actually finished up all the coursework for that. So I am a licensed chemical dependency intern through the state, and I can therapize people with their drug issues and that sort of thing. But I did choose to continue going to school, and I graduate next month with a human service provider degree, which is kind of like a baby social worker degree.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to continue on again and get my bachelor's in social work, and hopefully also my master's in social work, and you know, just make a solid career path for myself. I am still doing photography on the side, but it is at a much smaller scale than it. I'm waiting to hear back on a job at a local community mental health center that I interned at, and hopefully that works out. So what do you think about that? You're gonna go to pre-K, and Grandma's gonna pick you up from school some days.
Yeah, we just signed up.
Yep, we just signed you up. So Grandma is going to help with pickup on the days that Jeff is at work, and I will be in 8 to 5 stiff. So something else that we have gotten into that I have actually really enjoyed is raising up chicks so that we can sell pullets and hens to our community. We have made so many connections and so many friends through that. We've mentored people into getting chickens who've never had chickens before. We get messages on the daily asking for advice with how to run their flock for their different setups. Millie, please stop. And that has been something that's been super fulfilling for us. We have really, really enjoyed doing that. So out here in the garden, every year I feel like I tell Jeff, I feel like I really know what I'm doing this year, and then more stuff comes up and it turns out that I don't. But this year I feel like I really know what I'm doing, which is really, I don't know, it's just satisfying because it really does just take practice. If you think you have a black thumb, no you don't, you just haven't grown enough things yet. So we have like 200 onions in this bed. We should get about 100 pounds of potatoes from this row right here. We built our own soil. We have been putting wood chips and chicken litter and compost and topsoil and all kinds of stuff out here for the last 2 years so that we could have an in-ground garden, so I can figure out what I'm doing over there. But these beds behind me are our 3rd year soil, which seems to be kind of the sweet spot, and everything in here really is thriving, especially after the last couple days of rain. So I'm starting to feel like I know what I'm doing out here. I recommend to anybody moving to a new town, anybody who is just starting a new journey for themselves, a life change, go to your library, go to community meetings, find friends who do the same stuff as you do. Don't stay at home, and don't like not talk to your neighbors. Like, we're building a gate with our neighbor over here so that our yards connect. That's really sweet when I think about it. So things Jeff's gonna laugh at me during the editing of this. Lots of things change, but everything has been for the better, and we're excited to be back into this and updating everybody as we can. We're not going to be on a crazy filming schedule like we were before. We're definitely learning that our first instinct is to bite off more than we can chew. And at the end of the day, family comes first, and that's where our priority is going to lie all the time. Is that good, Jeff? I think that's pretty good. Is it not recording that whole time? I don't think it was recording. Oh no.